Okay, sorry about that. And I goofed again. Okay, guys, forgive me. This is real life. So we have the amazing Allie Phillips, animal protection attorney, author, speaker, essential oil educator, and certified master teacher educator, energy healer, to share how to effectively use and safely use Young Living's essential oils to enhance our beloved pets' lives. I heard her several years ago with Dr. Jim Bob's group, and she was phenomenal and just absolutely blew me away with her information. And I knew that the world needs to hear what she has to say because there's so much controversial stuff on the internet. We need to hear what she has to say. So without further ado, I'm gonna let her get started. And like I said, she's gonna have time for questions at the end. So go ahead and type your questions in the chat thread. And as a reminder, I posted this, we have 4 of her booklets to give away. This is called The Oily Pet, Safe Essential Oil Methods for Cats and Dogs. She's got fantastic information that you want to hear and know and use for their animals so they live a nice, long, healthy life. So take it away, Allie.
All right, thank you. This is awesome. And I know it took us a while to actually get this on our calendar and get this scheduled. So thank you for being patient with my, crazy world that I have going on here in Michigan. So yeah, awesome to be here and awesome to see so many people here from the East Coast. I used to live in Alexandria, Virginia. So that's like my second home. So it's awesome to be here. So I have been an attorney for 25 years. I have spent the entire time in the world of criminal prosecution and have specialized in handling animal abuse cases. Also specializing in family violence cases. So domestic violence, child abuse, sexual assault, all of that really horrible stuff. So it's no wonder that I use oils and got involved in energy healing. So I was a prosecutor for many years in the courtroom, handling everything, got very interested in handling animal abuse cases, which was rare back then. Eventually moved out to Alexandria, Virginia, and worked in DC for the National District Attorneys Association, where I became their expert in animal abuse and how it links to family violence. So as a result of that, I have created a nonprofit called Sheltering Animals and Families Together, and I help domestic violence shelters create on-site pet housing. So when a family is leaving, of course they take their children, they need to take these guys too. And I have over 225 shelters worldwide. It's a global initiative. But I've also been a lobbyist for child and animal protection. That was part of the time I spent in DC. I created the National Center for Prosecution of Animal Abuse to really train prosecutors and law enforcement on how to handle these cases. Currently, I am the chair of the animal law section of the State Bar of Michigan and actually just finished my quarterly meeting like an hour ago. So I've certainly had legal stuff on the brain today. But 9 years ago, I created my healing business because I am certified in three different modalities as a master teacher. So I teach energy healing not only to help people, but to help pets. And that's the entire reason that my business was created, was to help people help their pets. And one of the best ways you can help your pets is by helping yourself, because they feed off of your energy. So I've written a lot of books. It's just ridiculous how much I've written. I've got some animal protection books on Amazon. I've written The Oily Pet. I just wrote a new book called The Oily Crystal, because I'm also an advanced crystal master. And when people are blending crystals and essential oils together, it makes me nervous because I'm seeing a lot of toxic things happening. That's a whole separate presentation. But I have spent over 20 years helping shelter pets and rescue pets and working with abused and neglected animals. And because of that work and how I have really centered my healing work and my essential oil work, I've been in Young Living for seven years now. Because of that unique specialty, Young Living has invited me on 3 occasions to speak at their conferences about oils and pets. and specifically about helping shelter pets, rescue pets, and abused and neglected animals, which if you have rescued a cat or a dog or any pet, chances are they've had some sort of trauma in their life. So that's where a lot of my experience is coming from, is dealing with those sort of pets. So yeah, it was just a real honor to teach for Young Living, and it was always out in the cold. So we were always wearing winter coats when we were teaching. And these have been my greatest teachers. You're going to see a couple of my cats, including a video of one, but this is Stella, Rudy, and Dobby. Rudy is actually sitting behind me. And they are my oily cats. So when people say to me, you can't use oils with cats, want to make a bet? I'm going to tell you how. I tend to be a little sassy. I'm a Leo, so I'm now in Leo energy as of today. And I'm a red personality, so I hope I don't come across as a little too blunt, but an attorney that's Leo and a red personality, yeah, that's me. So, so here's the book, which it has a new cover, but it hasn't changed. So the inside is still the same, but I just reprinted it because I've sold over, I can't even remember, over 2,000 copies in a year. So Rudy is now on the cover of it. And I'm going to tell you, if you guys want to get any of these, I'm going to give you guys a special discount code. And there it is, Zoom. So if you want to get the oily pad, if you even want to get the oily crystal, if you just put Zoom in for the first, I do bulk discounts. You get a 10% discount as soon as you order 5 of each. But if you just want one, you're going to get a 10% discount with that code. So I just wanted to offer that to you guys because I'm not going to go through everything. We would literally be here for 8 hours if I went through everything. Get the book. It's an easy read. It's going to give you everything that you want to know. But I am going to touch upon, actually, let me go back for a second. This book, The Oily Pet, if you like to teach, you can teach from this book. So if you're ever nervous about, well, I don't know what to say, just get the book, read it. It is set up to teach from. You can hand it out as a handout. So I just wanted to say that because it's going to give you proficiency in using the oils with your own pets. It's going to give you confidence to share it with others, to talk to others about it, to be able to handle the questions of, oh, I thought oils were harmful to pets. It's going to give you all the answers so that you can be confident, you can talk about it, and it is generic in its branding because I respect the trademark licensing of Young Living, so there's no mention of Young Living, there's no mention of blends. But when you read it, you're going to know I'm only talking about Young Living. So it's easy to hand to somebody and they're not going to feel like you're doing a sales pitch. So I wrote it specifically for Team Young Living to get out there and share all of this. So I just wanted to say that. And I want to go through basically the 5 top questions that I always get, like seriously every day. I get these questions. Look at Rudy. He's just being so cute. He's like so happy. He's like, I'm with my people, I got oils, we got a cat unicorn on the wall here, we got oils and crystals, we're all good. So the first question I always get is, Allie, why are you just pitching Young Living? Okay, well, I don't pitch anything. I don't even pitch a softball. But I only recommend Young Living. And that is for ethical reasons as well as legal reasons. Because remember, I'm an attorney at the end of the day. I have a lawyer brain. So in the book, The Oily Pet, I actually go through a test. And if you can answer all of these questions, then that is a brand that you can use. Because the question really comes down to not whether lemon is safe or peppermint is safe. It's whether the brand is safe. And here are a couple of reasons why Young Living is safe. They promote their products for pets. You go onto the Young Living website and not only do you see the animal sense line, but there's blog entries about animals and oils. you're going to find stuff on the website where corporate is putting their name behind their products to be used with pets. Go to other companies. One other company that shall not be named recently started doing this because, I mean, they're always 20 years behind what we're doing, but they recently started doing it. Young Living's been doing this since day one because Gary, at the end of the day, was an animal lover. He had his horses. He loved animals. If you have ever been to the Moni, Utah farm, there are no less than 100 horses on that farm. And if you have never had a chance on that farm to go to the very back section, Gary rescued roadside circus animals. There's a camel back there. There's miniature cows. There's miniature horses back there. There's white buffalo. I mean, he's got like the craziest circus back there, and they're all safe. He rescued them. One of the first products he created was animal sense ointment. That's been around for 20 some years, and it has tea tree in it for anybody who says you can't use tea tree with pets. Really, it's in the animal sense ointment, and I haven't seen dead animals all over the world because of that product. So that's one way to kind of shut down that argument. But for me, if the company does not stand behind their products being used in a certain way, don't do it. Like when you look at, I'm just going to call them elderly care products like Metamucil and Geritol. They are not to be used with newborn babies. There is nothing on their website. That company does not promote Geritol or Metamucil to be used with newborn babies. So don't do it. So when other companies are not talking about animals, don't do it. So why I only recommend Young Living is for that reason, but also because of seed to seal. This is what makes our oils safe for all pets, including cats. And because it's not just a slogan, it's not just because of how we grow the botanicals and how we harvest them. It really focuses a lot on how we distill. Because when we distill, we're allowing for the balancing of all the constituents to come out. And an oil is going to self-regulate if all the parts and pieces, all the constituents are in it. So a lot of companies, they distill not long enough, and they're missing all those end constituents that may come out at the end of 10 hours or 20 hours or 50 hours, however long that botanical takes. We also don't second distill because you're going to miss constituents there. So this is what allows our citrus oils and our tea tree oils to be safe, whereas other brands are not safe. So I like to look at labels of other companies, and when I see a very popular brand labeled organic lemon oil, and on the label they say, don't ingest it, don't put it on your skin, don't use with pets, don't use with babies, don't use with pregnant women. And my question is, well, how organic is it? What did you put in the bottle that legally you don't have to tell us? And exactly how do we use it? I mean, seriously, how do we use it? You shouldn't smell it if you can't drink it. So that's the difference. I look at the other labels, I look at what the companies are doing, and that's why legally and ethically I can only recommend Young Living. So when people try to take the information that I share and use it with another brand, I'm like, well, you're going to hurt your pets and you're on your own, because I'm not talking about any other brand. You can't take what I say about lavender and use it with another brand. It is absolutely going to be harmful. So the second question I get is, well, I see all over the internet about how oils are killing cats and they're hurting dogs and you can't do that. Well, we don't know the backstory of those posts. And what I find interesting, sad, but interesting, they never tell us the brand, ever. They don't. We don't know the age of the pet, the pre-existing health conditions of the pet. We don't know if that pet was eating toxic pet food or running around with toxic pet toys in their mouth. In the Oily Pet, I talk about all of this. I talk about food, I talk about cleaners, I talk about toxic pet food, what their bedding is made of. All of that stuff is toxic. And we don't know what the backstory is. We don't know what oils they use, what brand they use, how much did they use, how long did they use it. You notice they never tell us that. I get tagged in these posts all the time. They never share that. I ask. I'm like, I would love to have some more information and I'll help you. They never respond. And then we see the graphics going around that say, you can't use all of these oils with pets. But there's never an author listed on the graphic. Any graphic that I create that goes on social media has my name on it. You can trace it back to me and I will back it. But here's the thing about when people say essential oils are going to kill my cat. Yes, they will, unless they're young living. And it's because, and even veterinarians are ill-equipped and ill-informed about essential oils. But cats are deficient. They're not missing, but they are deficient in a specific enzyme in their liver that helps them metabolize and excrete compounds like medications, toxins, essential oils. And it's unique to felines. Dogs don't have it. We don't have it. I mean, we all have this liver metabolism pathway, but it's deficient and unique to felines. And this is why people, including veterinarians, are nervous about oils for pets. And you may walk into a vet clinic and there's a big sign that says, here's all the toxins, for pets. Don't let them chew on a poinsettia plant and don't use essential oils. Well, I think we all know that you can't broad brush an entire category like that, because you can go into a grocery store and you can buy a completely pure organic tomato and it just tastes so good. And then you can buy a tomato that's genetically modified and covered in Roundup and it has no flavor. And there's everything in between. So whenever I see this broad brushing of essential oils, it's like, are you kidding me? We don't live with just one way of doing things on this planet. So I look into the research, and what I find interesting is there was actually a study in 2017 that found that cats excrete essential oils differently than dogs, pets, other pets, and even us. They actually excrete similarly to how a plant excretes an essential oil. Yeah, plants excrete essential oils. So all it is they do it differently. It's not that they can't do it. So whenever I hear people say, oh, because of their liver pathway, they can't do it, show me a study. Show me a study. I always turn it on them. It's like, show me a study. And show me a study specifically to young living where young living's listed in the study. Don't give me these random research studies that say tea tree is harmful to cats. I want to know the brand, because I can guarantee you I'll look at the label and I'll look at the company, and it's like, well, that company doesn't promote their tea tree to be used with pets. So why would you do it? Of course, that's not a good thing to do. So with cats, we just start slow because they do excrete it slower. So we want to put it in slower, and that's why we dilute with a carrier oil, because carrier oils are just simply a time release. So I only put it down their spine, never on their paws, never around their face, never on a collar. Just put it down their spine, because when you put 1 drop of essential oil on you, it saturates every cell in your body. Same thing with them. Just put it down their spine, dilute it. I do about 8 drops of carrier oil to 1 drop of an essential oil. But they can metabolize it. They can metabolize medicine, they can metabolize toxins. I mean, how many of us use toxic cleaners and candles and plugins before we found Young Living? I was the worst offender. Oh my word. Bath and Body Works plug-in, get me those. I loved them. They were everywhere. I can't believe I didn't kill us all. So cats can tolerate a lot. So when people say, oh my gosh, I diffused lavender and my cat dropped dead. No, I don't think so.
There are platforms.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mom. I mean, I don't want to go in there.
Can somebody?
I got 2.
That was a cute little voice. Aw, such a sweet voice. So these scary stories go around. Just don't even chime in, because I see people chiming in and they're like, well, you should have used Young Living. Just, you know, these people, if it's true what happened, we don't want to shame them. We don't want to make them feel guilty. Just know that you can use our oils with cats. I don't limit what I use. Start slow, and especially when you're diffusing, if it's strong for you, it's really strong for them because they have a heightened sense of smell. So this is just really kind of about common sense. Oh, which is a free oil this month. Awesome. Awesome oil. Which, by the way, I did an Itovi scan on my cats today. Rudy and Dobby both tested where they need the common sense oil. So Rudy, I don't know what that's about, but apparently he needs common sense. Yes, you can use Itovi on your pets. Third question I get is, what oils are safe to use with my pets? And again, it's not whether lemon is safe or tea tree is safe. Is the brand safe? If the brand is safe, you're okay. But we know that there's hot oils out there. And the hot oils are the high phenol oils. You know, phenols give essential oils their scent. So, you know, oregano, clove, cassia, you know, which just came out and is amazing, amazing. Blend it with frankincense. It'll change your life. Thyme, cinnamon, mountain savory, tarragon, tea tree, pine oils, even citrus oils. Just be gentle with them. It doesn't mean that you can't. Now, am I going to diffuse mountain savory? No. I'm putting it in my pasta sauce, you know, but do I diffuse thieves that has clove and cinnamon? Absolutely. Do I diffuse Northern Lights black spruce, you know, one of the conifers? Absolutely. And I diffuse citrus oils every day. And Rudy has been here the longest, and he has been living with Young Living oils since he arrived here 7.5 years ago. Rudy, how you doing? His liver values get better every year. As he ages, they get better. Something to think about. So just go slow with these. And if you are called to apply these topically, just use a carrier oil. Just use a carrier oil. Use your V6 and you're going to be okay. Now, the next question I get, the fourth question I get all the time is, my pet has XYZ disease. What oils can I use? No, FDA says don't act like a doctor. Don't do it. Don't do it, because legally you're going to get yourself in trouble. You are, in a big way. So we don't diagnose or treat with oils. Even if you're a veterinarian, you can't. I mean, you can't. What we can do is help people keep their pets healthy. Just like we keep ourselves healthy. Let's promote wellness. Let's be proactive. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you what my cats get every day. So when you help a pet with oils, always start with their diet first, because it seems like everybody comes to me and says, oh, my pet's skin is all itchy and nasty looking and their fur is horrible. Always start with food and check that first. And then go to household toxins. This is what I go through in the book. Look at food. I tell you what to look at. Look at household toxins. Look at their quality of life. Pets take on human energy. I've been doing a lot of webinars about that. I just did one this week. I don't even know what day it is today, but I think I did one on Tuesday. We promote their health. So look at other things before you go to oils. Oils are always a great supplement and a great complement, but oils can only do so much if they're feeding poor quality food. Oils can only do so much if candles are being burned. Oils can only do so much if toxic cleaners are being used. Oils can only do so much if there's unending, loud chaos in the house that creates stress and anxiety. So I always tell people, look to what the oils do for you. How do you use them proactively? Because in pretty much all instances, I never want to say 100%, but in pretty much all instances, you can do the same thing with your pets. Okay? So when people contact me, because I do a lot of consulting and a lot of coaching, it's like, I cannot tell you what to give your cat who has thyroid problems or your dog that has diabetes, but let's talk about boosting the whole body. Let's talk about Ningxia. Let's just boost and get an infusion of wellness. And yes, my cat's drink Ningxia every day. And then the last question I get is, well, how do I do this? So in the book, I go through a lot of different ways to use the oils, but you can use them aromatically. I mean, there's Rudy sticking his face over the diffuser. He does it every day. It's like he's vaping the oils. I mean, seriously, he's vaping. But just remember, if it's strong for you, it's really strong for them. Yeah, Rudy, are you a vapor? He's like, yeah, I take a hit every day. He does. He sticks his face over it. He's kind of a weirdo. Just make sure that your diffuser is in a place where your pets can come and go, because just like how we don't like a smell, they may not like it. Like, you got to keep ImmuPower away from me. That is the sweaty camel underarm oil. That is heinous. It is amazing in its results. Smells horrible. I can't stand it. So same thing with Rudy. He doesn't like certain oils. So make sure that they can leave, diffuse in a car. You know, get that car diffuser from Life Science Publishers. It's amazing. Diffuse in the car if you have pets who get nervous when you're taking them to the vet or on travel. Let them inhale from the bottle. I was doing that just before we got started. And Rudy took a hit of White Angelica. Do you see him reaching? I never stick it in their face. I'm about a foot away from him. I'm going to show you a video on how to get consent in, I think, the next slide. But another way that you can use the oils is on surfaces. So on a blanket, on a toy, you know, wash their bedding in Thieves Household Cleaner or the Thieves Laundry Soap, you know, because pets walk on everything and then they lick their paws. They rub their faces all over everything. So be careful about what's on you. What lotion is on your legs? You know, Rudy kisses me. It's very disturbing. It's kind of real what he does, but it's like, I better have Savvy Minerals on because he's licking it. So what surfaces are they licking or touching? Make sure that they're Young Living safe. For topical, like I said, if it's 25 pounds or under, you're going to want to dilute with a carrier oil. If the pet weighs more than that, you can do one drop straight right down their spine. And then internally, my cats drink Ningxia. I put it in their wet food. Never put our oils in water because it's just going to sit like a glob right on top. You can pill them if you can get a pill down their throat, or you can put oils on your finger and rub it on the inside of their gums. I love to do that when they're getting ready to cough up a hairball. I take Digize and I just rub it on their gums, and it really helps. So I want to show you this quick video about how to get consent, because only in an emergency situation do we force oils on our pets. Look, Rudy is like praying to the oil stash over here. He's so funny. So this is my cat, Jacob, who actually passed away 3 years ago, but he was an oily cat in his later years in life. And I'll show you how they give consent. Oh.
You come and give a garage. What?
Right there.
Oh, I'm gonna lock the garage.
I ambushed him when he was sleeping. So we're trying geranium first. And I am about a foot away. Before I even opened it, he could smell it. They can smell directly, you know, from the bottle, even when the cap's on. You saw how he came to it? You see how he came again to it? See his nose? His nose is going back and forth. He consented. So that was a good oil. He wanted to work with geranium that day. So this is Helichrysum. Watch his face, watch his nose and his eyes. I'm about a foot away. I look for them, I go halfway and I look for them to come the other half. See his eyes and his nose? He's like, mm-mm. He's not coming to it at all. All right, now we're going to try Melissa, which is my favorite oil for highly sensitive pets and people. It was too much. See him squinting? You want to look for that squinting because that's how they're telling you it's too strong. Now he's not walking away from them, mainly because he was kind of a lazy cat. If they walk away, that's it. They told you no. If they come to it, then they're consenting. Now, dogs in general are always going to come to it. See if they stick around, and that's giving consent. So we always let them choose. Now, here is a cat at the animal shelter. I work with a lot of animal shelters, and this cat was terrifying everybody, people and pets. Okay. Smell? You've been very agitated. You've been very agitated. Well, that seems to be working better than the peace and calming. Mm-hmm. You're okay. What I do is I sit the bottle on the ground, and it was about 2 feet away from him. He could smell it. And then I start waving it. So I treat it like a diffuser. And from the first video to this one where he's calmer was about 60 seconds. That's how fast it worked. Last September, right before Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas and destroyed it. I mean, just destroyed the Bahamas. The Humane Society of Grand Bahama emptied their shelter. They brought 130 of their dogs up here to Michigan, flew them on a transport cargo plane. 13 of them came to one of my animal shelter members here in Lansing, Michigan. Bessie was one of them. She was terrified. For 4 days, she just shook in her kennel. She couldn't keep anything down. Everything is coming out of both ends. They thought they were going to lose her because she was malnourished to begin with. She was an older dog, but she wasn't sleeping. She couldn't calm down. And this went on for almost 5 days. So on day 5, they called me in. Sweetest dog ever. She clung to me and just shook. And I was able to get valerian on her to make her sleep. I got peace and calming on her, and I got digest on her stomach. And within about 20 minutes, that is the photo that I took. She slept for the first time. She slept so soundly, we couldn't wake her. To the point where the behaviorist said, "Oh my God, Allie, you killed her." And I'm like, I'm sorry, it was digest. You don't kill anybody with digest. That's ridiculous. She was in a deep sleep. She slept for the first time. So, you know, these are the sort of results that I like because pets don't need a peer-reviewed double-blind study. The oils either work or they don't, and then you just go to the next. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, these are like all of my favorites that I use. I mean, I will pull others, but when I'm specifically working with my pet clients or going into the shelter, I always have peace and calming, valor, acceptance. I take valerian or vetiver to really calm them down. I love working with abused and neglected pets to really help them process. I'll even use the feelings kit with them. I love working with senior pets. You know, copaiba and frankincense down their spine, and daily ningxia red is amazing. So, you know, these are all the ways that I use the oils and the supplements. I mean, I'll use Agiles. So this is what my cats get. So, and this is just kind of their maintenance. So ningxia red 3 to 5 times weekly. I just put it in their wet food, run water over it, and they eat it. I put frankincense and copaiba down their spine, or I will blend the raindrop together, you know, 90% diluted, and just put a few drops down their back once a week. That's their maintenance because they're healthy. And Stella, because she's a little chunky monkey, she's just starting to get Agiles, and it takes me an entire week to go through 1 capsule because I just put like a little sprinkle in her food. So, okay, I'm going to take some questions, but I've got other webinars coming up. You're more than welcome to join in if you want. I haven't been looking at the chat, but just wanted to give you kind of that quick rundown just to let you know that this is totally safe. You can do this. It's all good to use Young Living. And again, there's the coupon code if you want to use it. So just type in Zoom at the coupon area. And then if you want to stay connected, it's the cats all over social media. They're teaching everybody what to do. So, all right. I have not looked at the chat. So Tracy, how do you want to do this?
If you want, I can kind of read through and call them out to you.
Be awesome.
Okay. Someone did ask, how do you scan with the iToby? How do you scan your pets?
So it took me a while. So one of my friends actually had to tell me. I posted that on social media today. Take a wet paper towel or Kleenex, just a little bit of water on it, cover both of the steel parts that's supposed to touch the body, and then you can literally just lay it over their fur. The water is a conductor. I mean, as soon as she said take a wet paper towel, I'm like, duh, the water is a conductor. So yeah, I just laid it, just while Rudy was sleeping, I just laid it on his side. It worked great. I mean, it was shocking how well it worked.
That's fantastic. Okay. I think a lot of people are going to be scanning their pets tonight or tomorrow.
You're gonna be amazed at what comes up.
Yep, it is. We did our dog one time, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
All right. Someone asked. Now, these I don't know how specific we can get. Someone asked about licking paws, itchy skin, and I think that might relate back to diet, like you were talking about. But if you want to.
Yes, here's the thing that I go into in the book. It is not, you know, and this is no judgment because I did this back in the day, but it is not biologically natural for pets to eat hard food. It's not. It doesn't matter what the brand is. That is not natural. That is not what they find in the wild. So I always recommend go to a wet food. If you can go to a raw food or a steamed food, like Rudy gets Fresh Pet. You can buy it in a lot of stores. It's in the refrigerated section. It's lightly steamed. And it's wonderful. I'd start with that. But in the meantime, you just want to comfort the skin. So the animal scent ointment or lavender diluted are amazing. Or you can use the seedlings wipes. I love the seedlings wipes, especially like when you take your dog out for a walk and they come back in and it's like, what have you stepped in? That is disgusting. Take your seedlings wipes and wipe their paws. It's very soothing and very nourishing. I think the entire seedlings line is meant for pets. I mean, no offense to the newborns, but everybody I know is buying that for their pets. So in a way, I kind of feel bad for the newborn babies because they're not going to have any. They're going to go out of stock. So
That's a great tip though, because it is. If it's okay for a baby, it's definitely okay for a pet.
Yeah.
I use a lot of that on my son who has seizures, who can't have other stuff, but he can have the baby line stuff or the kid scent.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had mentioned their dog. It wasn't really a question, but like is a rescue and can be aggressive. So maybe some ways to handle if you have an animal that might be aggressive or recovering from a traumatic situation.
Yeah, and you know, this is where, you know, I have to set up consultations with people because we've got to get to the root issue. Like when people come to me and say, my dog has anxiety. Well, anxiety's got multiple pathways. Like what, we got to figure out which path it is. So, you know, for the aggression, we got to figure out the trigger. We got to figure out the trigger. Some of it is so ingrained. You know, I've got a friend right now with a dog who, when he hears lightning, he tears apart anything in his path. Never a person, but he'll eat a door frame. He'll tear it apart. He'll eat a car seat. That is so ingrained in him. So it's a matter of just trying to figure it out and look to the calming oils and how you use them and try them. Like test them out. I mean, oh, Rudy left, but you know, I just open up the bottles and I set them on the floor and I set them a couple feet apart and just let them come to the oils and just see what will help. What will help. So, I mean, the Sarah oil was specifically created for people and pets who have undergone significant physical trauma, significant. I mean, the type that I would prosecute, like the ritualistic stuff. Ugh. That's always a good one to start with. But there's so many. I mean, there's Sarah, there's Trauma Life, there's Tea Away, there's Valor, there's Peace and Calming. I've even been working with Idaho Grand Fur for pets who literally go out of body. And it's like, you are not my pet. You are freaking out right now. You have literally lost yourself. That's an amazing one. So yeah, just start testing.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And the tree oils are so grounding. I mean, it's amazing. And I think that's such a good idea because you don't know. You have to, something might work on you one day, but not the next day, or what works on me might not work on you, and same for your pets. So that's such a great thing. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Yep.
And play around and kind of see, you know, what might work for them. So that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Someone asked about irritated skin issues on cats. The vet says it's from fleas, but there are no fleas.
Oh, again, animal sense ointment or, you know, diluted lavender massaged in. You know, I even like the Lavaderm After Sun spray. I mean, it's specifically labeled for bites and pain. So you could even try that. A little goes a long way, like a little, like put one squirt in your hand, rub it together and just massage it in.
Okay, I'm just kind of going through a little more and I see someone's fostering an aggressive pup. So I think we kind of talked about that. Is Parafree an okay supplement for an animal?
Parafree, I have not used Parafree. I use Paragize instead.
And that's the animal scent line.
That's in the animal scent line.
Yes.
And that's the nice thing, you know, honestly, off the top of my head, I can't remember what's in Parafree. But you have a animal labeled equivalent in Paragize.
Yes, and I love that we can trust Young Living backing all their animals because Gary really did have a heart for animals. So,
yes.
Yep. Someone, I don't know if we have an answer really for this one. Anything in particular for white poodles and the dark tear streaks down their nose?
Again, you got to get to why that's happening. I mean, with all of this, you've got to try to find the root reason. It could be genetic. It could be food. But the you know, I'm not a fan of putting any oils on the face. It's just too much. It's too much. But you can certainly use the animal scent shampoo. Just a little goes a long way. Like when you're shampooing the face, I mean, for like a gallon of water, I put like the size of a pea, like a really small amount. Shake it up, and you can wash the face with it. But I even try to stay away from the face. Yeah, I mean, on a lot of this, it's finding the root issue. So it's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know what the root issue is, you know, until, you know, this is why people hire me to consult, because I can ask like 800 questions and try to dig to the issue.
Very true. Okay. And people are in, you shared your information. And then I will get more information from you. So if people want, because they're asking how they can get in touch with you, that kind of thing. My dog is terrified of thunderstorms and fireworks. Any suggestions?
Yes, I actually have a couple of thunder and firework blends. I actually put them on this month on my Instagram page. If you go to Allie Phillips Pet Oils, you'll find them on there. They're labeled Be Calm Little One. I can try to pull them up on my computer, but I think you can probably find them faster on Instagram, unless I can pull them up pretty quick here and then share my screen. Now they're not coming up. But one is, I'm doing this off the top of my head, cedarwood, valerian, shoot, it was a new one, and it's not coming up. You can find it on it's on my Instagram page, because I just put up this month for 4th of July. You'll find them on there, so you can scroll really fast and find them. Yeah, I tested a new one. It was cedarwood. Oh my gosh, what was it? Cedarwood, valerian, and black spruce. And it worked. Oh my gosh, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It worked.
That's awesome, because I know a lot of dogs struggle with that.
Yeah.
Someone asked,
it's just finding, every pet is different. Every pet is different. Some are going to totally chill out to stress away. Other ones, stress away is nothing. Absolutely nothing. They need valerian and vetiver so that they pass out. So you've just got to find what's going to work for your pet. So this is why Young Living has 200 oils, because it's all going to work differently for you and for your pet.
Exactly.
Yep.
Someone said you rubbed Digest on their stomach for the dog, and for what reason? I guess they missed that.
Anything digestive, anything from entry to exit.
Yep.
But I use it for hairballs.
So is the best way for hairballs, because someone asked that too, to just put it in their gums or in their food, where they probably wouldn't eat it, would they?
The only oils I put in food are Ningxia Red or sprinkling a supplement. I don't put like a straight oil in food. It's going to turn them away. It's too strong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless it's copaiba. Copaiba virtually has no scent to it. So yeah, that's topical. You know, for me, if there's anything physically going on with the body, you want to topically get it on. If it's emotional or behavioral, you want them to smell it. That's my rule of thumb.
Okay, that's perfect. Do you give your pets shots from the vet?
No.
Okay.
Nope, I do not.
And what about monthly heartworm or other medication they might?
Well, my cats don't go outside, so to me it's not an issue, and I will never deter a dog owner from a monthly treatment or a monthly heartworm, because a tick bite is far worse than any vaccine. And I actually had a cat who was an indoor cat, had a very rare heartworm sort of disease. I can't even remember what the name of the heartworm was. She was only 10 years old. One afternoon, completely paralyzed and gone. And the vet said I would have never put any heartworm treatment on her because that's really rare. So for animals that do go outside, I'm a big believer that what you're preventing is far worse than the treatment itself. Now, here's the nice thing. You put oils on your pet and the oils start to work at the cellular level to start balancing everything. So when your pets get a vaccine, put some copaiba and frankincense on. And you can start to balance the body that way.
Yep, just like we would ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
And hey, I found those two graphics with the fireworks oils. So here, I'm going to share real quick. Here is the first one that I used to use. You can see it's quite extensive, but it works, it's powerful. And you can take this, and I'd cut it in third if you want to put it in a diffuser, but this is like a roller bottle version. So let me go to the next one. And this is the one I started putting in the diffuser this summer, and it works great. Let's see. This one. I love it, love it, love it, love it. My cats love it. And those, like I said, are on my Instagram page. So.
That's awesome. It looks like some people have already found you, so.
Okay, good.
New followers. Yep. What about fleas? If someone's having problems with fleas, what have you found?
So you know that our insect repellent is specifically labeled as a flea and tick repellent, right? So when I see all these people doing DIYs, it's like no one is ever going to do it better than Young Living. And believe me, I'm always up for a good DIY. We can never do it better. Use their insect repellent. It is already diluted 89% in a carrier oil. You can straight up put it on a cat. Straight up. So here's the thing. If it's already happened and you got these little things in your house, I have worked with people that have used thieves or purification or lemon oil successfully. You can put it in a spray bottle, spray everything, diffuse it. If you have like a shampooer that can shampoo carpet and furniture, put that in, like put the thieves cleaner in, or just put a whole bunch of lemon. You can take our new lemon hand soap and put it in there. Yeah, it's gonna get really sudsy, and you're gonna have to do a lot of water extraction, but either lemon or purification or thieves, not all three together. Just pick one and try it. And I've heard success stories with all of those.
That is awesome. Thank you. I hope if I missed any questions, would you please retype them? Because I've tried to catch them all. But go ahead and retype. Someone asked about chickens. Do you know anything about chickens and oils?
I guess it depends on what the question is.
They just had chickens with a question mark. So Bryson, if you want to ask specifically.
Yeah, I have a team member who has roosters, and even just by cleaning the water bowls with purification, oh my gosh, these roosters look amazing. She rescued them. They're awesome. They look amazing. But if there is a specific question, like message me either through my Facebook page or Instagram, because like my entire upline, we're animal people. So I got people with farms all in my upline, and I can get a question to them.
Okay, they just want to ask if you can use oils with chickens, which I have heard people do that. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And horses and pretty much any animal.
Oh yeah, I've used oils with little hamsters and gerbils, and you know, I have a pet store in my team, like a good one, not a bad one, not like a puppy mill pet store, but like a really good one. But they have exotics. They've got fish. They've got I mean, they breed some little like dagas and, you know, hamsters and gerbils. And we've been using the oils in the nursery so that the moms just don't go bananas when they separate the babies out just to clean the cage. And we've been using Gentle Baby in there to help them. So yeah, I mean, it's totally fine. Just remember, less is more. Less is more. Like really, like one drop in the diffuser.
Perfect. That's awesome. Okay. Someone asked about hospice or pets that are in hospice.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I've just 2 years ago, I lost my almost 20-year-old cat. I mean, she lived for 4 years in kidney failure. Now, can I say that Ningxia Red kept her well? Legally, I can't, but her liver values were awesome. It's just her kidneys were shot at the end, and she was almost 20. So what I like with any senior pet, proactively or near the end of life, I love copaiba and frankincense down the spine. That is hands down the number one blend that I like to put down their spine. You know, for diffusing, I mean, it just depends. It depends. I don't know the situation. You just got to trust your judgment, but remember, less is more. Don't be covering them in a whole bunch of oils because their system may not be able to handle it. But frankincense and copaiba is amazing. They may not be able to have Ningxia Red in their food. It may be too much. So you gotta test it out.
Yep, that's great. I've had a friend who she used rose oil and all kinds of stuff on her animal that was in distress and recovered and did great. So, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, rose is amazing. Joy oil. Yeah, I mean, when they're in hospice, it's not about trying to reverse or ward off the situation. It's giving them comfort. So think about, okay, what would give you comfort? Like I like white angelica, and I have diffused white angelica. I diffused that when my 20-year-old cat was letting go, because it's just very protective and it's very angelic, and that was perfect in that moment.
That's a great tip, especially because we are grieving when our animals are passing on. So using us and the oils, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And white angelica is amazing.
Yeah.
Someone asked, can you use animal sense ointments for cats' heads and ears?
It depends. I don't like to put products around the head. I just don't. Their sense of smell is so strong. It is like anywhere from 100 to 500 times stronger than yours. So they can't get away from it if it's on their face. That's the thing. So you got to be really cautious. Now, if it is something extreme, like a bad cut, okay, then yeah, you got to go for it. You got to go for it. But boy, you really got to try to keep it away from the eyes and the nose. It's okay if they lick it. I mean, that's not the concern. It's the smell of it. So it just depends on what's going on. If it's something superficial and not a big deal, put it down the spine because it'll travel to where it needs to go.
Okay. And someone asked, I think people are wanting to hear more from you, so maybe we can have you back and talk about the crystals, and if you have other information, we can have you come back because they'd like to hear more from you.
Oh, okay.
You're phenomenal. Like I told everybody, so good. Someone asked, how much Ninkster red do you know? Oh, where'd it go? I lost that question. How much do you give to dogs in the or how much Ninkster red do you give to dogs, basically, or cats?
It depends on the weight. It depends on the age. It depends on the situation. I mean, you're kind of sensing a theme. It depends. There's a lot of factors. You know, even with people, it's like, how are you doing? Like we don't, I have drank a 24-ounce bottle of Ninkster red in a 24-hour period because I wasn't feeling well. I would never do that to a newcomer. So it's like, it all depends. For my cats, they each get different amounts. You know, Rudy, who was sitting here 2 years ago, had emergency surgery for bladder crystals. So he gets more because I am working on the pH in his bladder. Stella and Dobby don't get that. So Rudy gets a dropper full 3 times a week in his wet food, and there's a ton of water in it. Whereas Stella and Dobby get like 5 drops. So it just depends, and you got to look at their weight. You know, little dogs are going to get a little amount. Big dogs, you put a whole dropper in, but start slow. Start slow and see if they like it. They may not like the taste, and we never want to deter them from food.
Okay, and let's see, did I see another question? That might be it. Does anybody have any more questions? I hope I got them all. If you do, you can type it real quick, and then I think that's it.
Okay.
So we are extremely grateful that you came and shared all your information with us. And
Pleasure.
check out her site. Like she says, she's got the book bundles. Now it looks different now. She's updated, but same information. We have 4 books that we are going to give away once we're done. I wanted to make sure she's Allie can escape if she needs to go somewhere else. So we're going to go ahead and end it. And thank you so much, Allie, for coming and for sharing everything. And we hope to have you back soon. And I think a lot of people will be following you.
Yes, that would be wonderful. And yeah, I mean, if you want to hear about the oily crystal, I can talk about that. And I actually took 2 of my full day crystal healing classes online. So I'm now teaching everybody outside of Michigan. So if you're interested in that, it's all on my website. I even have a crystal healing for animals class.
Okay, well, you and I will talk and we can get some stuff arranged then. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
I want to see who's going to win the books.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.